Alright, welcome to your video lecture on why is the earth salty. It's not a video lecture actually, it's just a recorded reading in case perhaps you'd like to listen to the words being read to you as you read along. So why is the ocean salty? Are you worth your weight in salt? Perhaps you've been told you are salt of the earth. Both can be compliments about your character. These terms come from the importance of salt throughout history. If you are told that you are worth your weight in salt, or that you're the salt of the earth, it means that you're valuable and important. You are fortunate to live on Earth. It is the only planet in our solar system that has water in all its states, solid in the form of ice, liquid water in the form of oceans, rivers, lakes, and gaseous water in the form of water vapor and clouds. About 75% of the surface of Earth is covered by water. Most of Earth's water is salty. Salt water is found in oceans. Most living things cannot drink salt water. The salt in the water dehydrates the body and can make the living organism sick. Humans, like most living things, can only drink fresh water to survive. Only 3% of the Earth's water is fresh. Fresh water is water that contains little or no dissolved salt. Of the tiniest percent of fresh water, most is locked in Earth's ice caps of Greenland and Antarctica. Less than 1% of Earth's fresh water is available in a form we can use. What do you think the majority of water on Earth, or why do you think the majority of water on Earth is salt water? It all comes back to the Earth's water cycle. When it rains, raindrops pick up small amounts of carbon dioxide gas from Earth's atmosphere. Carbon dioxide makes the precipitation slightly acidic. Carbon dioxide gases mixed with rainwater creates a mild carbonic acid. It's the same type of acid in soda. Though carbonic acid in rain is not nearly as strong as that in soda, over time it does dissolve rocks. It takes a long time for rocks to become weathered or broken down by slightly acidic rain. Weathering is usually a slow process and can take hundreds of years for rocks to show any indication that weathering has occurred. Some types of rock contain different types of salt. Salt is a mineral. A mineral is a pure substance made of just one type of chemical combination. Rocks are made of many minerals that combine together over time. The salt mineral usually combines with other substances to form rocks. The salt in rocks are released from their rocky mixture as weathering occurs. Once they have been weathered from rock substances, they are eroded or carried away as runoff. This salty runoff makes its way into the ocean via the streams and rivers. Over time, the concentration of salt builds up. Imagine you have a beaker of water. The beaker represents Earth's ocean basin. You fill the beaker with water and a single grain of salt, which represents fresh water. If you were to taste the water, it wouldn't taste salty. You allow the water in the beaker to evaporate. The single grain of salt will be left behind. You repeat this entire process 1,000 to 2,000 times again by filling the beaker and adding another grain of salt. Now you taste the water, you would notice the salt. The final product is what represents salt water. The same process happens every day as the salt enters our ocean and water is evaporated. More evaporation occurs over oceans. Oceans are the largest source of liquid water on Earth. Most of the time, the water that evaporates is returned directly to the ocean in the form of rain. Since oceans cover so much space on Earth, precipitation Precipitation also occurs over dry land, though. In our atmosphere, air currents move around the Earth. They push water, vapor, and clouds. What started as salt water returns to the land as fresh water in the form of precipitation. How can this happen? A physical change occurs when salt is added to water. Physical changes can be separated back into their original form. Here is an example of the process. Salt is dissolved in water. The water evaporates. Salt is left behind. This is how the salt is harvested today. In warm and sunny climates, areas of land are flooded with salt water from the ocean. The water is allowed to stand in shallow pools until it evaporates. Once the water has evaporated, a layer of salt is left. It can be recovered and sold. Our bodies can't survive without salt. We use salt for many other reasons, for preserving food to industrial uses. Salt is an important resource. We owe much of that to the water cycle. The next time you hear the earth has plenty of water, take it with a grain of salt, as you're skeptical of the quality of what you're swallowing. It all comes back to the earth's water cycle. If not for it, we would have neither the salt we value nor the fresh water we need. Having a great understanding of the water cycle process will surely place you above the salt. a sign of prestige in ancient times. You can take that to the bank. All right. The last thing you have to do is answer these questions here. You've got 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, remember, if you are answering right here, you need to be using full sentences and correct spelling and grammar. Make sure you can open this with Google Docs and then make your own copy to be able to edit and answer the questions. Have a great day.